Hello everybody, welcome to Catherine Sews. Thank you so much for joining me today. When I was on the Montreal and Toronto trip, I went thrifting, of course, like you do on trips with me. And I thrifted this really nice quality sweater jacket in Toronto. It's pure wool, it's really lovely. It needs a little bit of a refresh, a little bit of a steaming. I did already give it just a really gentle wash in Euclid, which I love for wools like this. It was so nice and now it smells so lovely. But apart from just needing a little freshening up, the thing I don't like about it are these pockets. They're fake pockets, and I know I've mentioned in videos before that pockets that look fake sometimes are real. They're just sealed closed for transportation. But no, these ones are definitely fake. There's nothing in there, but I want to make it into a real pocket. There's definitely some risks involved. This is not for the faint of heart. And that's probably why the original manufacturer, because that is an expensive brand, that's probably why they didn't put that real pocket in, is because it could bag out and stretch, and it might not look that great on the inside of an unlined jacket. So it was safer for them to just put that flap. But when I'm wearing it, I'm definitely gonna want a pocket. I don't need to take off the whole flap, but I do need to remove that top stitch. So that's the first thing I'll be doing. But then the other thing I want to do a little bit different from my normal technique is make it look better on the inside. So instead of just doing the pocket bag and serging around, I'm going to do a nicer edge around that pocket, like a little bit of a hemmed edge or bound edge. I'm not exactly sure yet. We'll figure it out when we get there. But this is just a piece of scrap linen that I have. The color isn't exactly perfect, but it's not going to show except on the inside. So I feel like this is worthy. I think this is going to be worth my time, because who doesn't love pockets? You got to have them, right? So here we go. The first thing I'm going to do is open up that top stitch very carefully. Let's get busy. I don't really need to take off the whole flap, but I do need to get rid of that top stitch. So to do that safely, I want to really pull the sides apart so that I can see those stitches in there. And then patiently and carefully just make a little opening. Once I have that opening, then I can put the red ball of the seam ripper down and gently push that across. So it's a little bit at a time. If I make a hole in the knit, I will be sad, but it's not the end of the world. I'll be able to repair it. But of course, I'd rather not do that. You can see a difference between the stitches in the knit and the stitches of the sewing. So as long as you can see the difference there, you can just pick your way across. There, that's it. Alrighty, so I'll do both like that, and then I'm going to take it to the iron and press that with the flap going up. It's pressed nicely with the flap going up, the seam allowance coming down, looking nice. And now, before I have to cut into this knit, I want to just stabilize it on the back with a piece of interfacing. So I've got some nice soft tricot interfacing here. So I want to reinforce in a rectangle around that. The stitching of the flap right here is 5 inches. Normally I would go about 7 inches and have an extra inch at each side, but I don't want this to really show on the inside. So I'm just going to do 6 inches by 2 inches. And I can see through my interfacing to the lines on the table. So there's 6 inches by 2. Just like that. And I'm just going to run to the iron and fuse that onto the inside of the sweater. So with that interfacing on, now this area is stable and I don't need to worry so much about the knit stretching out. So I'm ready to start the actual pocket. And I've got this strip of muslin, and if I place that on top, I can feel the bottom edge of that pocket, and it's on a bit of an angle, isn't it? It's not straight across, but I want the pocket to hang down straight. Otherwise, if I have the pocket coming this way, I don't think it'll hang nicely. I think it might pull and distort. So I think I better let it hang straight. So there is my angle. There. Okay. And then for the width, I think my muslin piece is about perfect. I will just have about 1/4 inch of seam allowance above that. And then I would like the pocket to come down to about here, but it's going to fold back up So I need the pocket piece to be about like that. And I need 2 of them. So I'll take one of my pocket pieces, the higher end goes here. I'll sew at that 1/4 inch seam allowance from just inside the flap. So from about here to about here. And then I just want to make sure that that flap is going to cover. This end is no problem because of that angle. It's covered nicely. This end though, yeah, I better make sure I don't come past that spot. Okay, so here we go. Starting at my first pink dot. And I'm just letting the edge of my presser foot run right beside the edge of the flap. And I don't want to go past that second pink dot. Okay, well, that's pretty good. So now, the scary part. The scary part is always the cutting, right? But I need to cut right in the middle, of course. That makes the opening for the pocket. But at the ends, I need to do a Y shape coming to the last stitch on both sides. So I do need to make sure that I did a good, strong back stitch there, because if that starts to unravel, I have a problem. So the lives are not at stake here, right? It's all fine. Here we go. Cutting right down the middle. And then making a little Y shape, going to my last stitch on that side and my last stitch on that side. Switch to my LDH scissors because they have really nice points. Oh, that's better. All right, right to my last stitch there. And same thing on this end. Just little cut across. You want to push your seam allowances out of the way so that you can see that last stitch. And if you don't get right to the last stitch, you're going to have a pucker. If you go too far, you're going to have a hole. There, that's it. Phew, scary part's done. And now we have a pocket opening, but we need to, well, we have an opening. We don't have a pocket yet. Alrighty, so let's actually take this to the iron. So there's my opening. I'm flipping that pocket piece up. This is essentially an underpress. I'm pressing the pocket up and the seam allowance beneath it are both going up. So now I'm going to take that pocket and put it all inside. It comes out, the little corners come out. Looking good so far. And see how that under pressing just makes my edge here so nice. These little triangles are going to get dealt with. So everything is sitting nicely and behaving itself. And now this pocket bag will fold up in half. I want to keep these edges lined up with each other, meaning that I don't want it askew like that. I want it lined up. This top edge is now going to meet up with the edge of the flap, and I want to pin that to the flap but keep my sides lined up. So right in there is good. So you can see it naturally wants to curve like this, but it's my job to bring the edge of the flap, and in fact that whole seam, I want to bring that to the edge of the pocket bag. And where I want to be sewing is right in the same line as the original set of stitching, and I can just see the indentation, and I want to make sure to catch the corner of that pocket flap. I want to come right in to where I clipped. See how this corner is slipping away? I do not want that. I want to have that straight edge right together with the straight edge of the flap. So I'll be sewing right there. As I put it into the machine, I want to make sure that the back, the pocket bag, is laying flat. Like it's definitely wanting to have a little pucker party there. I want to make sure that is laying flat and my straight edges stay together. And then the same when I get to this end, this straight edge has to stay together and this pocket bag piece has to stay flat. Not too bad. A little bit of an issue here. Okay. Here's is what we're looking like. Do you remember what I called the underpress? That press that we did is keeping this edge of the pocket bag to the inside. Here are my little triangles that need to be dealt with. Now when I press, I want to push the seam allowance of the flap going up. So actually I have to bring the flap itself down so that the seam allowance can naturally, or at least with a little bit of encouragement, go up. Good. So it's like that. The seam allowance has to go up, and then everything nice and flat. If you have a clapper, that's a perfect time to use it, because we really do want to encourage that little tiny bit of seam allowance to stay going up. Now that it's nice and flat, I'm going to peek under and find those little triangles. And I'm going to pin it just to this one layer of the pocket. Normally I sew it to both layers of the pocket. I kind of just do a back tack right through there. But in this case, I want to try and do a little bit of a French seam on here just because it's so close to that center front edge. I want that part to look as nice as possible. This edge I might just do in the normal way, but while I'm doing that little back tack, I might as well do it here too. Where I want to do my little back tack to secure it is right in line with the fold, right beside the fold there. Okay, it doesn't have to be pretty, it just needs to be secure. And as I say, normally I'd go right through everything, but for me to try that French seam, I've got to keep this layer out of the way. All 4 of those are done. So I think I will end up doing a serged edge here at the top of the pocket just because there's so little. I think a serged edge there is just going to have to do. So for me to do this French seam on this edge, I'm reaching in through the opposite edge and pulling that all out. And I pressed a crease across the bottom already, which is really helpful because now I can fold it backwards on that crease. And then I can more or less tell what needs to be going on up here. This little top corner is a little confusing, so if you need to, go back to having it the right way out and just see what lines up with what. But I think that's going to be good like that. As long as I've just got edges together here, that is fine. Good. So that's sewing the pocket basically inside out, so that when it flips, then you get a nice little edge there. Oh, that'll be good. Now, if I wanted to try to do a French seam on this side as well, even though it's further away from the center front, I might as well try. But obviously I can't go in through this way to catch it. I have to go in through the pocket. So reaching into the pocket, pulling that pocket bag out. Maybe that's easier. And then folding it backwards on that crease that I pressed. And then up that side edge. Good. That should be fine. Now, this edge is serged just because the scrap of fabric I was working with was serged. It's not really on purpose. And it's definitely not necessary since I'm French seaming this. So again, from the inside, pull that out. Got a nicely encased seam or enclosed seam. Yeah, that's good. Alrighty. Back at the iron now. I can use a chopstick or a knitting needle or a point turner to poke out my corners nice and pointy. You don't want to bunch up the seam allowance inside there. The seam allowance should be laying flat, so you get a nice flat corner. Good. And another option, which is probably even easier, especially for that second side that's harder to get in, is just turn your edge in and stitch it down. You want to just make sure those edges are nice and even for you. Give that a press. You can throw a few pins in there to keep your edges even, and then sew nice and close to that edge. Just make sure you're catching both edges. Yeah,
That'll do just fine. That's easier.
So everything looking good, and I want to flatten that out, get this under. The 2 bumps on the presser foot are in line with the needles, so I definitely don't want that left hand bump to cross my sewing line here. I don't want my serging to cross the sewing line. That'll do.
And then just to complete that French seam, I'll just sew down the 2 sides. Now, I did the serging first so that I could kind of deal with my serger tail at the same time here. I'm just going to wrap it around and theoretically sew over it before I trim off the end. That's good. I'm happy with that. Lots of little threads to trim, including my serger tail that got secured on the inside there. Both sides are done. So I think I have successfully made pockets. Oh, you know what? There is one more thing I might do, and that's just to secure this bottom edge down with a thread chain. I'll show you that. So the outside is looking pretty nice, and the inside also I'm pretty happy with. Nice and clean. And so now I've got a quadruple thread on a needle, and I'll just secure a little knot at the seam here and take a little stitch there. And I've shown how to do a thread chain recently in the video all about trench coat hacks, where we used a thread chain to secure a belt so it doesn't slide off. There's so many uses for a thread chain. So with just that first little stitch, I don't pull it all the way tight. I reach my fingers into the loop and grab my thread and pull. Because I don't want to just stitch the bottom edge of the pocket down. I want it to have a little bit of room so that it's not making a pull on the sweater, but I don't want it to be able to flap too much. So a little bit of leeway is all I want. So there, that's about a 1/2 inch long of my thread chain. And I'm going to put my needle through that final loop. And then I can pull that tight. And now I can secure that to the bottom of my pocket. So it's stitching it down, but giving it a little bit of wiggle room. So however you like to tie your final knots. And then just before I cut my thread, I'll put my needle in and come out anywhere so that the tail of thread is hidden inside. Good, I like that. That's nice. So with that bit of effort, and I'm not going to say that that was easy, but it was definitely a manageable bit of effort. And now I've got functioning pockets in this very nice quality garment. So I'm happy. There we go. Done. And just to refresh the whole thing, you can see how the edge is just a little bit wiggly. It's made with 2 layers sewn together and just a raw edge. So it needs just a little bit of extra care. But with wool, you can really just get in there and steam it. And then leave a clapper on it. And that'll just make that edge look so much nicer.
I'm definitely glad to have this done and to have functional pockets on this beautiful sweater jacket. It feels so nice on and I love it. But those fake pockets would have definitely driven me crazy. So that is such an improvement. And I'm not going to say it was easy, but it was definitely worth the effort. So I hope you learned something from that. I hope you enjoyed it. And until next time when Catherine sews, you take care.